What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the PS5 career mode. This is episode number 49. And we're starting today's season finale off with a brief look at the league table. As you can see, 1 point clear of West Ham in 6th, 4 clear of Aston Villa in 7th, obviously way clear of Chelsea, 15 points clear now, the Blues in 8th place. But on the back of the defeat to Liverpool in the last game in the last episode, which of course ended our 6-game win streak, we are now 7 points behind Spurs, and they've got the game in hand as well. So with 3 games to go, yeah, we were going to keep fighting until it was mathematically all over. But let's be honest here, it was all over. So taking on Wolves for the first of the final 3. Sheffield United and Crystal Palace, 2 teams trying to avoid relegation at the bottom of the table. The other fixtures to wrap up the season. Wolves having nothing to play for between now and the remainder of the season. So I thought this would be quite a routine victory. And we did take the lead for Eddie Nketiah in the first half. But in the second half, what a piece of defending there by Chris Metham to head the ball off the line. And then from that we broke on the counter. Nketiah rolled through Eze, looking to pay him back after Abrechi got the assist in the first half. Then Hover, the former Liverpool defender, also makes a goal line clearance and scrambles that one away for a corner. So I thought that was really cool there. Nothing for Wolves to play for. They almost scored. We had a goal line clearance, and then they had a goal line clearance at the other end as well. Regardless, 1-0 the final score, 3 points in the bag, and a return to winning ways. But as you'll see by the league table, with Spurs winning once again, that's been the theme. That's been the theme in these recent weeks here. We win, but Spurs match our result. They're now 7 points clear and have the game in hand. I say now, they still are 7 points clear with the game in hand, so mathematically, it is officially all over with 2 games to go. We can't catch Spurs, and really any chance we had of catching up to them depended on them dropping points. They've won every single one of their last 6 or possibly 7 games. That is so frustrating. We've done our bit, we just haven't had the rub of the green from results going our way. Still, it's time for the final month of the season as May arrives, and as you can see, the Europa League and Champions League finals. How interesting is this? Everton take on Lyon in the Europa League final, and Arsenal face Real Madrid in the Champions League final after they got through Bayern Munich. And the significance of that is that both of those teams aren't just outside the top 4, but they're outside the top 7 right now. So if both of those teams win those competitions, what that means for what English teams are playing what European competition next season, I've got absolutely no idea. So fascinating stuff there. We'll see the winners of those competitions come the end of today's episode. Still, for the second of the final 3 games in the Premier League, taking on Sheffield United away at Bramwell Lane, desperate to keep themselves in the Premier League for Season 5 in this series. Heading into the game, feeling very confident and knowing that a win in this game, one more win, would guarantee 5th place heading into the final day. And after Jamal Lewis hit the woodwork early, 3 minutes before the break, Eddie Nketiah, who is on course to win the Golden Boot, goes down, stays down, and they're calling for the stretcher. Charlie Kelman comes on as Nketiah is forced off, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, we've lost our talisman, our best player, our top goal scorer up top, as the young American comes onto the pitch. Worrying signs indeed, as we still needed to win this game to guarantee 5th heading into the final day. And 20 minutes after the restart, still dealt at 0-0. Ball plays a brilliant ball through to Charlie Kelman and gets it, and the American gets, if you can believe this, his first Premier League goal of the season. Better late than never for Charlie. And you'll be sitting there thinking, how is that right? I've seen Charlie score several times this season. That's because all of his goals have come in the Europa League and the domestic cups as well. I was stunned when I saw it after the celebration. But yes, that is Charlie's first Premier League goal all season long. And in a season of pure frustration and several injuries, it would only be fitting after he scored what would have proved to be the game winner in the end, 20 minutes before the end of the game. He ends up getting another injury. As we saw this season, he got a broken toe back in November, I think it was. And as you see after the game, he's got the exact same injury. He's got a left pinky toe made out of glass. I can't believe it. So Kelman with a broken toe there, as we do hold on to the 1-0 victory. And I think the reporter was winding me up as well, come to the post-match interview, saying that we missed out on the win. They would have secured Europa League football. So I gave him a kind of stupid, riddled, sarcastic answer as well. What game was he watching? But yeah, there's the confirmation for you there. Kelman has broken that left pinky finito, and Eddie Nketiah dislocated his shoulder, which means he'll be out for 2 months as well. The only good thing about that, and I know it sounds a bit weird saying it's a good thing that a player's got injured, is that obviously now there's nothing to play for. Due to that win there, we've guaranteed 5th place in the table, so we can't finish any higher, and we can't finish any lower. So we've got that spot the board wanted at the start of the season, and we'll guarantee qualification for the Europa League for next season. The only good thing about it is that as this injury's come in May, it means that with 2-month injury for Eddie Nketiah, he won't be sort of coming back to training until the start to the middle of July when the new season begins. And of course, as we know, with Eddie Nketiah being 87 rated, which is absolutely extraordinary, that's going to put clubs off putting bids in for him in the summer transfer window. Now, I have talked about it before. If we get a bid for Eddie Nketiah and it's for a Champions League club in the summer, I would of course cash in for the realism, but that does mean for the first 2 or 3 weeks, no clubs will put bids in for him. Clubs don't bid for those players that are injured because they won't pass a medical. So that is, again, I don't want to call it a blessing in disguise, but yeah, it's something worth considering, knowing that for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the summer transfer window, I don't expect any bids to come in for our number 9. So heading into the final game of the season, it would indeed be Crystal Palace, and heading into this game, they still had a chance of going down and might well need to win if results weren't going their way across the grounds in England. And heading into the match, it was a bit of a send-off for us. I picked loads and loads of academy players and loads of veterans as well heading into the game too. David Silva, as we know, is retiring come the end of the season, so this would be his final game in football. We had the cycling GK, Ben Foster in goal, the 41-year-old. Adel Taarabt was wearing a captain's armband. He still might retire at the end of the season, even though he's still got a year left on his contract. Some players that might not be here next season, and again, a load of youth players as well. Really cracking game this one though. Again, Palace, as you could tell, desperate to survive. They've got a really good team as well, so why they're struggling so much I don't know. They got the likes of Rafael Leao, who scored their 2nd goal here 21 minutes after the restart, Reece James, Scott McTominay is their captain. I don't know why they struggled so much this season, but either way, just for the relegation zone, they knew that a win in this game would guarantee survival, and that's why they were playing like they needed it as well. We were tied at 1-1 heading to the break, courtesy of 2 brilliant saves from Ben Foster, the cycling GK. Come on, the boys. God, I love his YouTube channel. But in the second half, I mean, I'm just going to be honest here, the less said about this, the better. I know there was nothing to play for. I know that we had a really weak lineup out there, and I mean a really weak lineup. There were no proper starters out there. It was just kids and veterans, really. But there was still no excuse for this. I mean, we conceded like 3 goals in about 10 minutes. Crystal Palace won the game by 5 goals to 1. And I remember after that game thinking to myself, okay, listen, I know there are some games where the AI are almost unstoppable. This was just one of those games. Look at that, 8 shots and 8 on target as well. Foster getting a real workout of 41. Probably rethinking that contract extension, which he retire now. But yeah, that was a bit embarrassing, I'll be honest. Their heaviest defeat of the series so far. Regardless, Liverpool do retain their title. We've known that for a while though. Both Manchester clubs and Spurs are in the top 4. We do indeed finish in 5th place, our highest finish ever with 70 points on the board. Absolutely buzzing. And for the first time in the Premier League as well, you would have seen it, 52 goals. So happy with that, because I do struggle so much to score goals in this year's FIFA career mode, but 52 goals, and finally we do get ourselves over the 50 hurdle. It's Bournemouth, Sheffield United and West Brom who are going down to the Championship, as Eddie Nketiah won the Golden Boot this season. Charles Ball won his 3rd straight assist title as well, so what a brilliant season for those two. Once again, just like last year, 2 fantastic individual performances all throughout the course of the campaign. And whilst Woodman did not win the Golden Glove, 18 clean sheets this season is mightily impressive for our number 1. You'd also see, unlike last season, we weren't snubbed in the Team of the Season representatives. Eddie Nketiah, no surprise, win the Golden Boot, made it, as did captain Andy Rinomhota. That was really cool, who, by the way, has had some England call-ups since this season began, so that's really awesome. So Rinomhota and Nketiah getting to the Team of the Season, as Eddie did indeed win the Golden Boot with 22 goals this season. And as the goalkeeper of the tournament, that was indeed Edison, who of course won the Golden Glove this year, and the player of the tournament was Liverpool's Mohamed Salah. So yeah, what an interesting season for Queen's Park Rangers, because, thinking about it, I don't know how I would describe this season. I mean, really frustrating for one, no doubt about that. So many injuries we had this season, a lot of adversity, once again starting off with a really, really small transfer budget. But, our first season in Europe, you have to say, even though it didn't feel that bad, it was still technically a failure. The ball wanted us to get to the final. I wanted to get to at least the semi-finals. we were knocked out in a round of 16. As for the Premier League, yes, we hit the objective there of finishing in 5th place, and we're the first team to break up the top 6 and finish in the top 5. That's absolutely fantastic. But for the FA Cup as well, back-to-back finals, and then this year knocked out in the round of 16 by an underperforming domestically Arsenal team. Yeah, I gotta be honest, this was a really weird season because it was kind of like, fantastic in the league. It was a season of scalps, beating Chelsea, both Manchester clubs, Spurs and Arsenal. 5 of the 6 all got beaten this season for the first time, which was amazing. But despite finishing in 5th in the table, outside the league, the Cups and in Europe as well, it was a failure. You got to hold your hand up to admit that. So really, it was a season of frustration. A very, very tough one, and lessons to be learned as well. Whilst we are making incredible progression with this team, we are a 4.5-star team on the verge of becoming a 5-star team. We've got some great youth prospects coming through the academy. We had some amazing individual performers once again from Charles, Eddie Nketiah, and also a Brett Gise, who I'd say this season was our second best player behind Eddie this campaign. It's safe to say we still got a long way to go. Yes, we've made some great progression. Yes, again, there were some real big positives this season, but also outside of the league, it was a season of underperforming in the Cups and in Europe as well. So lessons to be learned. We've still got a while to go before I think we can be competitive on multiple different fronts. So a brief look at then who won what in the Cups. As you can see, Man City won the Carabao Cup, and Spurs even won the FA Cup, beating Arsenal in the North London final. Everton won the Europa League, and Real Madrid beat Arsenal in the Champions League. So I think Everton are going into the Champions League with the top 4 next season. Very interesting indeed, but one thing I do know for sure is that we will be playing Europa League football once again next season, and hopefully, unlike this season, we can go a bit further than a round of 16. But that was this episode of the PS5 Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching this season and the episode as well. Have a fantastic day, much love to you, and I'll see you for the next episode, which is the special thank you episode number 50, where we begin a brand new season, our 5th one at the Klein Prince Foundation Stadium. It's going to be great. Thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you for the new season, the special thank you 50, very soon.